Hi and welcome back. It is now ferment February, where it is the perfect time, at least here in Central Texas, to be able to start our ferments. We're going to be concentrating on condiments this year. I'm going to be making my tamari or soy sauce. I call it soy sauce. It's tamari. Okay, there is a difference between the two, and we'll go over that in a minute. I want to go over how to make mustard, how to ferment ketchup, and something else. There was a ferment that I did a long time ago. It contained mangoes, and it was a 4-month ferment. It was wonderful. I don't remember what the name of it is. I'm going to have to do some more research. I think it's Arabic, something that they use in like, oh, Middle East somewhere. Now, there is a reason why I buy my salt in bulk. This whole thing is probably going to be going into this ferment. It does take a lot of salt or sugar to be able to create the flavors that you want. This is going to be salt. Soy sauce is salty. I am going to be using gloves for this because we're going to be using our hands a lot. It is warm. It is sunny, very sunny outside. It's blindingly so right now. And traditionally we have one more freeze to go through before it's officially springtime. First things first, we're going to prepare our soybeans. Now, green soybeans will not work for this. It has to be the yellow or the white soybeans. You get them dried, and then you either soak them overnight and then cook them for at least 6 hours to be able to get them to the same consistency. Sorry about that. Told you it's blinding. Or you can go ahead and pressure can your soybeans. Get them all nice and soaked. These went in for 90 minutes on a good pressure. Hold on. These went in the pressure canner for 90 minutes. And they'll be ready. All I have to do is rinse them off. Whenever you cook your soybeans, you want them to be mushy. And then we're going to add the salt and then the bacteria that will ferment. I did pre-do everything because this can take a few days to set up, especially if you're getting the beans prepared, because it's about a 2-day process. Pay no attention to the mess. It does not exist. Let's go ahead and get these drained, and then we're going to rinse them out a little bit. I've got 4 of these. These are going to be about 6 quarts, which is about 1.5 gallons. This will make about 2 gallons. See how mushy they are? It just mushes. That's what we want. Now, typically, regular soy sauce contains wheat berries. You would prepare the wheat berries just like you would with the soybeans. You would do a 50-50 mixture. 50% wheat, 50% soybeans. Now, I can't have the wheat. So I just make a miso style type of mash and use that, squeeze it out, and then use the soy sauce or the sauce, the liquid that comes out of this after the year, to use as soy sauce. It's actually called Tamari. It is a different process than regular soy sauce. With soy sauce, you would dry the mash into bricks, let that ferment and have the mold take place within that brick. And then that would take about a year. Then you would put that in water and let that sit for a lot longer to be able to get soy sauce. This way it is quicker. Minimum 1 year, but it does age very, very well. As it ages, it gets darker and darker and richer. I love it. Now, this is called koji. K-O-J-I. You can get it off Amazon. This is the bacterium that will be fermenting everything. It's kind of like a bacteria infusion. It is incubated on rice grains and then packaged. Or you can go ahead and get the bacteria itself, the koji, and incubate it yourself. I tried that a couple of times and failed miserably, so I just buy the thing. We're going to go ahead and put this in the big bowl. We're going to mash it. The more you mash it, the better the bacterium spreads. You can also do this in a food processor. I kind of like having the chunks in there, because after this, I actually use the mash. I keep the mash and I use it for fermenting things like roasts, meats. Makes it really, really nice and flavorful. It gives it a different taste to it. It's not quite like soaking something in soy sauce. It has a sweeter taste to it. This is the fun part. This is where you get to play with your food. Ah! Really? Hi. And this is also the reason why you have a bigger bowl than normal. Now, I've already measured this out and pre-measured everything to where we have exacting measurements. All right, change your gloves. Now we're going to add the salt. This is going to be 2 1/3 cup of salt. Now, you don't have to do this just with soybeans. You can use any bean. It's going to have a different flavor. It's not going to be soy sauce. If you use lentils, it's going to have a different taste than red kidney beans or pinto beans. 1/2 cup. 1 cup. 1.5 cups. 2 cups. About 2 1/3. Now we're going to add the koji. Believe it or not, for this amount, we're not going to need this whole bag. About half of it. So that's still a lot of koji. We're going to mix this up. Then we're going to add water. If you notice, this is already congealing into a paste. That's what we want. Now, there are different levels of miso. Right now, it's raw miso. In 3 to 6 months, it will become white miso. And you can eat it at that point. It won't kill you. You can use it for culinary applications. And then, after a year, it becomes regular miso. And 3 to 5 years, it becomes red miso. This miso, which is still edible, we still eat out of it. I made 10 years ago, is still edible. We still eat off of it. No mold. It is still black. And it still smells wonderful. This is black miso. And this whole jar is probably worth about $1,000. But I made it 10 years ago. The value of what I'm doing this month is in the time, not the food itself. That's where the value comes in. So that is all nice and mixed up. We're going to add enough water to make it kind of mushy. See how it's kind of like moldable right now? I really don't want to say this on YouTube or on it has that consistency. But that's what we want. And because we are making more of a paste. Now remember, over time, this rice is going to absorb this moisture. So you want this to be a little bit liquidy whenever you put this in the jars. Because the rice is going to expand and take up all that moisture. So we want this to be this consistency. If you get my meaning. I love playing with my food. All right. Now it's time to jar. You want to use a sterile jar. Does not have to be tight for the lid. Okay, I have a regular lid here. No smell on any of the lid or the glass. sterilize it. And whenever you're filling this up, try not to get as many air pockets as in it. And try to get it all in the jar. I'm going to make a mess. Now, as you are filling the jar, you want to kind of make sure that all the air pockets are out as much as possible. You're not going to be able to get it 100% out. I've never been able to get it 100% out. But so long as there is no air pockets, it won't be so moldy. It won't develop as much mold. I mean, you're going to have the koji in here, which is what you want, but the rest of it you're not going to want. Now you want to clean this up as much as possible, including on the inside of the rim, because we are going to be sealing this up. You're going to check on this every 2 months. Make sure there's no unwanted mold at the top, but I'm going to show you how to try to prevent that from happening. And every 2 months, you're going to clean this up, check it, and then at the top, we're going to put a layer of salt. Try to get into the crevices as much as you can, because the salt is going to prevent that bacteria from forming. But it's going to be a generous layer, just like that. I usually take a Ziploc bag and create an air seal. You can use cellophane if you wish. It's just easier for me to do this. I have never had a batch go bad on me doing this. You can argue all you want. You're introducing, bad bacteria from the bag. I clean these off. I dip them in vodka. Everclear is even better. But it seems like the new generation is discovering what Everclear is all about. Which is funny to me, because there are times, there were parties that I went to that you had to take a shot of something in order to be able to enter. Everclear was one of them. Goldschlager was another. There we go. The lid on it. You're going to want to date this. I need to let this dry. And then put it in a dark, cool place. Check it on every two months. Someplace that doesn't get direct sunlight or even indirect sunlight. Just bottom of a closet. Check it on every 2 months. And in a year, we'll go ahead and get this pressed. This is batch number 1. I am going to be doing multiples of these. I have enough koji for one more batch. This 1 gallon right here will last us a year in soy sauce. But I do want to do multiple years because this is a very long process. That's the start of Ferment February. We'll go ahead and work on other things. Next week I want to do mustard with my homemade vinegar. I have a couple of videos that I've been making vinegar with so far, so I feel like that was kind of beat down for a while, so we'll lay off of that. But we'll make mustard. I'll show you how to make my hot mustard. And then after that, we'll use that mustard to ferment ketchup. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed. And we'll see you next time.